Welcome back to the Navy Sports Magazine. Time to talk a little track and field. Navy, of course, this week on the indoor side, taking on Army up at West Point with Griffie Loy. And as we ask just about any athlete here, when you look at the schedule this week and see who's on it, does anything get you more pumped up than seeing those 4 letters on the schedule this week?
No, sir. I can't really say that anything does. You know, it's hard to really put into words what the meet is. You know, but I guess really the best way I could describe it is, you know, it's like electricity when you go in the field house. You know, there's so much emotion, so much passion. Just you can almost smell everything in the air. You know, I mean, it's hard to say, but it's really almost undescribable in words.
As much as you feel the anticipation leading up to it, is it more the exaltation afterward when you are able to be victorious in this rivalry? Do you feel it even more then, as much as the anticipation leading up to it?
Yeah, I think that's a good point, because, you know, if you ever look at something, it's you know, you'll always, I think your entire athletic career, you're always fighting to get back to that moment of when you finally realize that you won. You know, there's nothing better than the feeling of standing at the top of the podium or knowing that you won a race or an event. You know, so I guess the process, you know, the pursuit of the victory is really the meat and best part of it, but the entire time you're always searching for that one feeling, that same exact, you know, same thing. You can't really describe it, you just know it in here when you feel it. You know, that's what you're always working for, so we're looking for that again on Saturday.
Certainly when you're throwing outdoors, there's a lot of elements to take into account, but you all have one of the best indoor facilities in the country with the Wesley Brown Fieldhouse. But when you go somewhere else, like you're going to be this week, obviously up at West Point, is there a distinct difference when you throw indoors at other places like that?
So, you know, on the track side, it's a huge difference between the bank curves and the flat surface. Just, you know, that's the physics behind it. But for throwing, for me, really, I always feel like I can throw further when we're away because I'm out of my comfort zone a little bit. And I think, you know, obviously you have to be comfortable when you're competing in anything, but it's like, you know, I think I'll throw a harder punch back into a corner when I'm scared, you know, a little off my rocker than I am, you know, just every day. So kind of shocks the nervous system a little bit, and I think that really gets it all firing for me personally, at least.
How does it every day to have a guy that's throwing the way John Campbell is as well? How much does it help to have a guy like that to train with on a daily basis?
Yes, sir. So, I mean, for me, I think for everyone, really, track and field is all about the training partner. You know, there's nothing like that in the world, that relationship where that's your best friend, your brother, you know, but at the same time, they can be your worst enemy, you know, your biggest rival. And that, I guess that competition, that camaraderie is, you know, it's pretty priceless. And if that can't bring the best out of you, I don't think anything can, because there's nothing every day like having an ego check and a talent check every single time you walk in the door, when you know there's someone who's either better than you or right behind you, and they're going to be better than you if you slack off. So I really value that, and you know, I think now we've got to the point where we have it solid through 4 years. You know, everyone's chasing everyone, and you know, I try to never get comfortable, and I try to preach to the guys like, hey, as soon as you think you made it, you know, you're not going to make the travel squad that week, because it's just getting too competitive, which is a great thing. You know, I mean, that's what you need to be really successful here.
Exciting times around here too, as well. Personally, as a surface warfare officer, with ship selection and everything this past week, where did you end up?
So I selected the USS Normandy out of Norfolk, Virginia.
Why'd you make that choice?
I wanted to be on a cruiser, and I wanted to stay East Coast. I have some good buddies going to Norfolk, and said, you know, why not? Especially with everything going on in the world, you know. I mean, you know, either coast you pick is so, I guess, controversial what's happening in the world where you're deploying. But I wanted to stay East Coast, and researched the ship, had a great record, and they just had a lot of refurbishing done, with a lot of money put in, and really looked into the CO and the XO and the Master Chief. You know, I think that's really the most important. Is the ship is one thing, but you got to look at the people, and you know, they just had such like a, I guess, essence about them. Just even off the internet, you know, I kind of just went with it, and I met Captain Trink, who's this commanding officer on ship selection night, and I definitely think I made the right choice.
All right, best of luck to you and your teammates this week as you all travel to West Point.
Thank you very much.
All right, Griffie Loy joining us here on the Navy Sports Magazine.